and social impacts. Come on up, Richard. How would you like this mic?
My test? Yeah, it works. Okay. Thank you, Justin. A pleasant good noon to everybody. Thanks for the opportunity to talk about what we're doing at Scion in terms of environmental valuation. So I'm Richard Yao, and I'm an environmental economist. So I focus on valuation of ecosystem services or the environmental values that we get from the environment, especially urban forestry. And then Colin mentioned about holistic economics. So hopefully my work is kind of contributing to this holistic economics. And one person mentioned about value. So I'll be talking about some values. And usually some of these values are actually hidden or missing. So they're easily ignored in decision making. So, so let me just start with New Zealand has about 87% of the population living in an urban environment. So it's actually one of the highest in the world, even greater urbanization in New Zealand than Australia, US, and the UK. And you can see that by 2050, 92% of the population will be in the urban. Oh, whoa, hello. Anyway, I'm from Scion, by the way, so thank you, Scion, for backing me up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah. So basically, a lot of definitions of urban forestry are out there, but I've here with some of the examples of urban forests. We have urban parks. We have street trees, landscape boulevards, urban planted forests, gardens, river and coastal promenades, and greenways, and wetlands. So this is actually one of my favorite spots in the Waka Forest in Rotorua. So if you enter the forest, you will be able to see this nice area, very relaxing. And I'm also a runner and a walker and a mountain biker. So I can go up all the way. I just walk for about 20 minutes and I will be able to see this. And you can see the Mokoya Island. So it's beautiful up there. So it's really valuable. So it improves my well-being. So mostly during weekend, I do some running and walking to go all the way to the top of the forest. And I really enjoyed it. It's really invigorating. So yeah, so basically, urban forests provide material benefits. So these are examples. You have timber, you have firewood. These are the tangible benefits, and then you have the environmental services. You have of course, cleaner air, stormwater protection, habitats, carbon sequestration and storage, and you have the non-material benefits. You have recreation, tourism, aesthetics, and cultural heritage. And then you have basically the environmental and non-material benefits are often they don't have a market price, so they are easily ignored, and they are usually less understood. So it's basically yeah, a big problem at the moment. If you look at I think many of the presenters presented this the Auckland forestry strategy. So this is one of the from the Auckland Council 2019. So this strategy actually recognizes that urban forestry, you have cultural values, economic values, environmental, and then this what's that one? So you have the social values. So you have these different values. So you have multiple values. And one way to capture these multiple values, oh, sorry. So you can actually see that if you include both the market and non-market values, the benefit would be about $5.60. And then, sorry, for every dollar that you spend on tree planting and care, it actually gives you like a broader value of $5.60. So that's how important the urban forest is. It's basically a good value for money. Okay, so using an ecosystem service lens, it actually allows us to show the multiple values of urban forestry. So it actually looks at ecosystems as a contributor to human well-being, but they are not fully accounted for in monetary terms. So ecosystems, they are basically the flow of goods and services from ecosystems that benefit, sustain, and support human well-being. So you have the provisioning, the material benefits, which I mentioned earlier. And then you have the regulating. These are basically the environmental services. And then you have the cultural values that are provided by urban forests or planted forests. So having this lens, you can actually look at forests. It's providing you with multiple values. Okay, so you have habitats for birds. You have mountain biking. So Waka Forest, by the way, gets about 500,000 mountain biking visits every year. So it's a very valuable forest for mountain biking. And so some people here actually don't want to get anywhere near the ecosystem services framework. But to me, it is a flexible scientific framework. It is a way to bring people together and discuss what really matters. It's also about making the invisible more visible in decision making. Okay, so valuing the multiple benefits provided by urban forests. So there was a study by Vesley in 2007. It actually looked at would people be willing to pay to basically to prevent 20% reduction in local urban tree estate. So you can see it's about people would pay on average about $300 per household per year, so it's quite high. And if you aggregate this, it's about $250 million per year using these current dollar values. So urban, there's also a study in Perth done by Pandit, and I think I also saw Maxim earlier, who's the co-author of this one. So basically, Perth, certain areas of urban trees in Perth, you have like a 4% increase in property value. This is actually about the right tree in the right place. So if it's in the right place, it gives a 4% premium. If it's not in the right place, then it doesn't give any additional value. Okay? So in California, urban tree management costs about $19 per tree, but it provides benefits of about $48. So you can see it's very important. And there's also a study in Lisbon, Portugal. And then you have carbon sequestration about 33 cents, energy savings about $6, and then you have increases property value about $144 per tree. So quite high. And then you have, really hard, I couldn't see the, I'm sorry, come over here. Okay, so, and also there's said that urban trees are better for climate and pollution adaptation than for climate mitigation. And then we've done a study back in 2010. So there was a rock forest, they made it a recreational value of $11.3 million per year. This is actually more than twice the annual timber revenue from rock forest. So the number of values is actually higher than the market value. And then we've done a study to show that New Zealand, the rock forest is actually the most visited mountain biking destination in New Zealand, based on our recent study. Okay. All right. So this is showing you how taxi, the studies on urban. Basically, we have a literature review that looks at the influence of urban forests on residential property values by Iwani. So you can see there's only one study in New Zealand out of the 89 papers from 21 different countries. There's definitely a huge gap, and then you have a lot of studies in the US, China, and Australia. So data is actually, value data is really quite low. Oh, yes, thank you. Okay, so, hello, Mike. Yes, okay, so now I'll talk about the work that we did on mountain biking. So timber trails, the economic and well-being impact. So I did this with Julio, Lina, Sayid, and Simon. So New Zealand planted forest, they account for about 7% of the nation's total land area. It's a vital source of logs and timber, and it provides $6 billion per year in exports. And then it actually leads to enhanced human well-being by providing hiking, running, and mountain biking. So it's mountain biking experienced a fourfold increase in participation. It's quite major now over the past. This is not just in New Zealand, but all over the world. And then the main venue for New Zealand mountain biking is planted forest. Okay, so we employed a diverse recruitment strategy. So we distributed a survey to HivePass via the HivePass app to about 35,500 members of mountain biking clubs. And then we advertised on social media. And then we actually offered like a $250 gift voucher prize draw. And then we got more than 2,000 mountain bikers providing us with valid response. It's quite impressive. So we used the input-output model. And then the result of the input-output model suggests that mountain biking contributes about $112 million per year. Although it's in planted forest mostly, but the forestry sector only gets about 5%. And then the other sectors are getting the bulk of the economic contributions from mountain biking. And then we use a travel cost and random utility maximization model to look at the value if we close down some forests. So we actually gave respondents 200 different mountain biking destinations, and these are the top 10. So basically, the top most visited is the Waka Forest, about 25% doing distant mountain biking visits. And then we have Queenstown. So these four are basically the planted forest mountain biking sites. And then we did a scenario analysis. If we close the top 4 planted forest sites, we will be losing about $4.5 billion in value. If we close on the top 6 non-planted forest sites, it's about $2.5 million in welfare value. And you can see here that basically the 4 mountain biking sites in planted forest are about 76% greater than that of the non-planted forest. So basically those planted forests which are in the urban centers, they're actually providing more benefits to mountain bikers. Yeah, so, okay, so this is just basically, I don't have enough time. I'll just simply say that studying the full value of urban forests enables collaboration among economists, like myself, and ecologists, social scientists, the alma mater. So